And joining us now to discuss the fight over funding for SNAP benefits is Gerard Filitti, senior counsel at the Lawfare Project, attorney and political strategist. Gerard, thank you so much for joining us. Now, with the SNAP deadline looming, President Trump saying he thinks Republicans will find a way to solve this. How much pressure do you see the SNAP issue bringing on Democrats to push them towards a yes vote on a clean CR?
The SNAP issue is a big source of pressure for Democrats. I think a lot of Americans are becoming increasingly frustrated that the government shutdown is continuing when a simple, at least temporary option is the passage of a clean continuing resolution. And SNAP benefits that affect millions of Americans and imperil their food safety, their ability to get groceries to feed themselves and their families, that is tremendous pressure on Democrats to come to the table with a clean CR and then engage in good faith negotiations for next year's budget.
And as you know, roughly 42 million Americans rely on SNAP. You have the immigration research group CIS estimating that in 2023, among illegal immigrant households, over half of them use at least one major welfare program. And under the previous administration, the number of illegal immigrants rose significantly. First, what's your reaction to those numbers and how this could play out given this administration's focus on immigration enforcement?
I think it's shocking, and many Americans perhaps did not realize the full extent to which U.S. taxpayer dollars were being used for programs that benefited illegal immigrants, whether it was in subsidizing food or housing or education. This is really just the tip of the iceberg when we're talking about benefits for food. And the current administration, the Trump administration, has prioritized removing illegal immigrants from the country and reducing the benefits that are provided to them. Essentially, they should not be in the country. This is the take of the Trump administration. Why are taxpayers paying for them to be here? This is also causing a source of problem with Democrats because one of the reasons that Senate Democrats are not agreeing to a continuing resolution is they want to restore these benefits that the Trump administration wants to cut to illegals.
And in terms of political messaging, we saw a rare moment of Senate Leader John Thune lashing out at the Democrats after a Democratic senator from New Mexico asked for unanimous consent to fund only SNAP but not end the shutdown. Thune saying in part that SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid. This isn't a political game. What do you make of the political messaging? Is either side winning on that? And why do you think Democrats are digging in their heels on this issue?
Democrats are digging in their heels as they have done in previous shutdowns because in general, in past shutdowns, most Americans have actually blamed the Republicans for the shutdown. This is different. This is basically a different strategic message that the Republicans are putting out there by offering on 13 different occasions a clean CR, which means that the government would continue to be funded and operating at the same levels as authorized under the Biden era budget, which really no change. The Democrats are refusing this because they want restoration of money to groups that should not have been receiving it according to the current government. So this is really the issue. Most Americans are starting to be frustrated with the shutdown, but they're not for the change blaming the Republican Party. They're looking at Democrats as wanting to roll back changes that Americans voted for.
And Gerard, we are already starting to see some of those consequences of the shutdown, especially at airports. Give us a sense, though, how bad can things get if this shutdown continues?
Well, the issue ultimately right now is that many essential federal employees, including air traffic controllers at airports, are continuing to go to work, and even though they're not being paid. So services are continuing in many essential areas of transport. And transport isn't just passengers flying home to see their families or going on vacation, but transport also includes the logistics of getting food into stores, of getting products to market. It includes port operations. All of these things are continuing to operate, but people are not getting paid. Now, eventually, this can't go on forever. People who are going to work and not being paid, they want to find work that will pay them. So this will put more strain on the government, on pressure to resolve this budget crisis. But ultimately, it's the lack of funding for programs that will start to cause a ripple effect because funding goes into everything. Federal dollars flow into everything from food benefits to school benefits to housing benefits. And increasingly, this pain will be felt by Americans.
A lot at stake for sure. Gerard Filitti, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.